Welcome to Knit One Heart 2.
Episode 74.
Yay! I'm Sheila, also known as Sheila D37.
And I'm Wendy, also known as Penny Winnie on Ravelry.
And I'm sorry, you just got a real close-up of a ball.
Extreme close-up!
I am winding a ball of yarn. And it may get caught in my ponytail. And we have the kids home yet for another week. One more week.
One more week, and then we'll be free.
Yeah, because not next week, but the week after we'll have no kids.
Maybe we'll be able to do that short row heel tutorial.
Well, it's funny because my neighbors are talking about having, because our town starts before Labor Day, and there's other people's towns who, a couple of the teachers don't actually, in my neighborhood who teach, don't actually go back until after Labor Day. They're in different towns.
Yeah.
So we're talking about having, margarita brunch by the poolside without the kids.
Well, that'll be nice.
Yeah, I doubt that will happen, but it still will be nice to get together with the adults without the kids.
That will be nice.
Yes.
So, we have 969 members in the group. We're getting awfully close.
Yay. And just a reminder, we're doing 2 knit-alongs. They end in 2 weeks.
Yep.
The Sparkle Yarn knit-along, you knit anything with Sparkle Yarn. And then the Ruby Slipper knit-along, which I noticed 51 projects on your page.
Yay!
And if you do the Ruby Slipper with Sparkle Yarn, you can enter for both sets of prizes, which we have to actually pick.
Yes, I think next week we'll show you what the prizes are. We will pick them after we record today, and we will show you what they're going to be.
Yeah, because we have no clue.
I think one of them should be sparkly yarn.
Well, that was one of our prizes last.
Oh, did we give the sparkly yarn?
We gave Sparkle Yarn away.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I'm not with it. Man.
But
I'm sorry.
We'll talk about our new knit-along, and maybe we'll pick yarn to go with that.
Okay, so but we'll talk about that at the end.
And the gossip
and gossip and innuendo, because we do have plans for a new knit-along that I think will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, maybe we can pick something color-wise to go with the charity.
That's a good idea.
You know what I mean?
So, I believe it is your week.
Yeah, well, mine's real easy.
That's okay, folks, because I am just loaded with stuff this week. I
tried. I really did. I'm almost done, and that's what I'm doing now. So this is my sock by Yarnissima. Spicy Boy, I'm sorry. Spice Man. Because it's a Spice Boy.
Spicy Boy. No.
Spice Man. And there is also a Spice Boy, but Spice Man on US size 1.5 needles, 2.25 millimeters on Alorna's Laces, Zombie Barbecue, and the Sport Mate, which I just did research on that. Sport Mate is 70% superwash merino wool and 30% Outlast viscose. Now, I looked it up. Outlast is actually a registered name. It's a product. Mm-hmm. And the viscose is basically a rayon polyester blend. Mm-hmm. And what that does, it's temperature control. So it's supposedly to keep your feet either warm or cold without being over hot or too cold, supposedly. So what I'm doing now is I had bought 2 skeins, and I wish I had my other sock. I don't. 2 skeins of this for a pair of socks, because that's what they recommend. Well, I am this far up my heel.
Wow.
I still have this much left. So what I was going to try and do, and I'll do it next week, is show you. I'll put a safety pin where I end it.
Yeah.
And then I'll show you. You could probably, this is size, I wear size 8.5, 9. And this is doing a gusset heel. You could easily make a pair of socks within about an 8.5 size range with 1 skein of yarn. And how much? It wouldn't be a long cuff.
No, you have to have a short cuff. But like me,
270 yards. Now this is on size 1.5. I'd say maybe 7 stitches to the inch, give or take. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, about 7 stitches to the inch. If you wanted to do that, you could. Because my other sock's cuff is like
long.
This. You could make it a decent cuff without being... And if you did short row heel...
You'd have even more left.
Yeah. So, I'll show you that next week.
So that's good to know. If you don't want to spend the money for 2 balls, you could probably get a pair of socks out of 1.
And again, this is like a size 8.5 foot. I did do gussets for all it's intentional. You know, I did do a gusset basically. Yeah. Toe up. Nothing fancy. I like it. It'll be interesting to see what happens to the leg of the sock when I add the new ball of yarn, because they're never exact.
Right.
But it will be interesting to see how it follows through. So I'm almost done winding that, as you can see. This one I think has more zombie color. I guess this would be the zombie, wouldn't it?
I don't know. I kind of thought this would be the zombie.
No, I think that's the barbecue.
Oh, that's the barbecue.
Because you're grilling it, you get a little grill, and that's the blood, and then this is the zombie.
All right. I don't know.
So the colorway is zombie barbecue. This is what it looks like balled up, and that's pretty good colorization too. I mean, we got really good colors. This is how much I have left, and I have maybe 3 more inches left to knit, roughly.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm liking this.
You could make a 3rd sock.
Well, that's what I'm debating on what to do with the rest of the yarn. I may make fingerless mitts.
Oh, you definitely could.
You know, start with the wrist and just go up so that sometimes you know how fingerless mitts you can
fold over.
Yeah. So we'll see, because that would be great for wintertime.
Yeah, definitely. Plus, it's a cute color.
It is a cute color. So that's all I have.
I think it would hide the dirt well. It would be a good mitt color. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it would.
I think of these things.
And for me, it will just go in the bin. I made these really nice mittens that I thought I'd wear. They'll just go in the bin and probably be a gift for somebody. That's how you know me. Unless they're socks and maybe a scarf.
Yeah, that's true. So is that it for you?
That's for me. As a matter of fact, that's it for me until Crushes and Heartbreaks, really.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
So what is going on here? I did not get a long tail cast on.
No, I don't
for
think
200 stitches.
How many are you at now? 50?
I'm thinking 50. Oh, man. All right. So I'm going to have to rip that up. Anyway, so this week, let's start with the Loud and Proud socks. They got worked on because I actually made it to physical therapy this week. I had a little sock crisis with these. So I was working on them. I worked on them. We had company for the weekend because I had a wedding over the weekend that I attended. And I was working on them because this is a good little portable project to take a couple places that I went. And when they got to this high past the heel, I thought, oh, I should really try them on to see how they fit.
Oh, no.
Now, you know, I put cables here and a big cable in the back. Well, I could not get them on over my heel.
They were too tight.
So I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then I realized I could just rip down every other row and make them have cable. And that would add some stretch. Ribbing, sorry. So I did row by other row. I ripped down to here. And you can see I didn't exactly get it even. I made a little point in the front by accident, but it kind of looks cute. And I ribbed them, and now they can go over my heel.
Oh, good.
So... But I am, at this juncture, I'm increasing in between the cables on the front and also in between the cable on the back to give myself a lot more stitches so that they won't be tight. But, yeah, I managed to do it.
I'm sure if you didn't have the cable, you wouldn't have had a problem.
No, it was the cable drawing it in because the rest of it is really stretchy. And you can see now this stretches to the same width as the rest of the sock. But when it wasn't cabled, I can't believe how much stretch cabling gives to...
You mean ribbing?
Ribbing. Cabling, I can't keep saying it. Ribbing gives to like a fabric. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the exact same yarn. All I did was drop each row, every other row
stitch
down to the bottom, and then purl it up. And it added enough stretch for it to get over my heel, and it fits very nicely.
Oh, good.
So yeah, that was my crisis, and I am very close starting the yellow. Very loose.
Yeah, real close.
I know. I'm so excited. Look how, and I've got kind of like, normally I think about an inch from now I would stop knitting. That's pretty much how I don't make long legs, but I'm going to knit until I finish the skein. So that's,
when you have a gradient or a rainbow color.
Yeah, you want to get all the colors in. So this is the Loud and Proud socks made out of Play It Life Socky Mocky in the Loud and Proud colorway, and you can find the yarn on Etsy. And I'm housing them in my Jessalou bag, one of my gnome bags. And I'm using a US 2.5 millimeter needle. And that's pretty much it for that project. Little Batty, which is the shawl that I am designing. I figured out what the problem was. I had left out a knit 3 together, kind of an important stitch. So I reworked it and I started back up again.
So you ripped it out and started up.
I ripped all the way back to the beginning. So I am now back on track with that. Didn't get a lot of work done on that though because I had company from Wednesday onwards until Monday, and you can't really sit at a computer and knit and record what you're doing when you have company. Yeah, it's kind of rude. So I did a little bit of it, but I don't know what that was. I just knocked something on the floor. So that's Little Baddie. That's going along well. My secret knitting. Yay! I'm expecting new yarn for that any day now.
Oh, really?
Yes. Oh. There was some
we'll talk about
collaboration, and we came up with something that I think will work, and I am hoping that, like the Little Red Riding Hood, the first one was too stripy, the second one was too variegated, but the third one will be just right.
Oh, good.
So, once I get that and start knitting the first part so I can see how it's going to look up, that'll tell me when I can release the pattern to test knitters. So if you're interested in test knitting, I had one of the people that was in line for this have something come up. So I will be opening the test knitters thread probably by the end of this week. And if you're interested, when I unlock it, I'll give some more details about it in there so you can decide if you want to do it and then sign up. I think I'm going to ask for 3 people to test knit it, and I need you to be able to do it in like 2 weeks. 2 weeks of knitting. It's very simple. It's mostly a stockinette, so it shouldn't. It has a lace edging. It's not.
And it doesn't have to be in a specific.
No,
type
you can
of yarn.
pick any type of yarn as long as it's fingering weight. So there's that. So that'll watch the thread for that, and that's.
Choked myself with my yarn.
Oh, my last thing. I forgot to put it in here.
What?
I'm working on this, and I thought I put it. I swear I put it in there.
No. Future?
Huh, I guess I didn't. Well, I'll have to write it in here. The third thing that's on the needles is something I'm casting on right now. And that is Just Enough Ruffles by Laura Chow. And the pattern picture looks like that. And this is available on Ravelry for some amount of money that I didn't write down because I thought I wrote it down on this, but I didn't. And I am knitting it on US 8 needles.
Yes.
And I was knitting with US. It's supposed to be knit with US 9. But this yarn is not quite as thick as what it was knit out of Malabrigo. This is slightly lighter than that, so I went down a needle size. I'll see how it looks. And I am knitting it out of Still Rivers 7 Sammy's yarn, which is made out of Samoyed dogs.
And you had made a hat with
I made a hat with it, and it gets a halo. It's 30% Samoyed for 70% merino. Does not smell like dogs. Does not smell like dogs, even if it gets wet. And that's what everybody asks me about it. Does it smell like dogs? Does it smell like dogs when it gets wet? It doesn't. They've taken out all of the guard hairs, so it's just this. You can see a little bit of the halo now. It will halo out mostly blue, and the under yarn is greener.
Where's your hat?
I don't know.
In the winter?
It's in my winter stuff, but I did do one. It puffs up. It's gorgeous. It looks like that monster from Monsters Inc.
Sully?
Sully. It looks like Sully from Monsters Inc. It's really wonderful to knit with. I toured Still River Mill last year, and that was the first time I bought it. And I picked this up from them when I went to the Big E Fiber Festival last fall.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's wonderful to knit with, and it's so soft against your skin, and the halo is just really lovely. And I think that this scarf in a halo will be really gorgeous.
Yeah, it's going to be gorgeous.
And this will stand out nicely against my black fall coat, so I'm really looking forward to it. And I just cast it on now, and it takes about 380 yards of worsted weight wool, and I only have 200 yards of this. That's funny.
What's it, 100 each? Or 200 each?
100 each. When this is entered in, it says that I have more yarn than that. I might not be able to do this out of that.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. That's happened to me too.
Yeah, so I might be ripping this out and doing it in some Malabrigo. Now that I just realized that. That makes me very sad. Okay, so that's very sad. But that's it for my On the Needles right now.
Future dates. What did I say I was going to do for future dates?
Do you have a rate your date? Because we're
right.
just skipping over that category right now.
I told you I had nothing.
Okay, well then I'm going to go because I have a date to rate.
Oh, that's right.
I have not woven the ends in.
Oh, here it is. Doesn't look like what it is, though.
It's poof.
I know, but
you can't see the stitches underneath it.
But it's not the same color, or is it the same color?
No, it's a different color.
Oh,
this
all right.
is the purple and blue, and this is the green and blue.
Oh, all right. I thought you used the same
color. Put a picture of it up so that we can show it, since we're talking about it and nobody's looking at it. I did this one, and you can see how fluffy it is. It actually has a pattern underneath all the fluff, but it was pointless to knit it in a pattern because the fluff...
What pattern was it?
I don't remember. I remember I had to fudge with it because I didn't like the way the decreases were. Zinnia Dahlia. Yeah. It's a free pattern.
That's right. I remember that.
I reworked the way that so it
and
was
all
symmetrical.
Her information
Not that you can tell.
This was supposed to be purple turquoise. For some reason, it looks gray.
Yeah, it's hard to see on that screen, but it's the yarn underneath is the purple, and the fluff that came up is the blue. So it's like a halo of light blue around the yarn, and this will have a blue fluff around more of a greenish blue base. And you can when you go to their booth at festivals, you can see knit up samples of it, so you can see how it's gonna, because the halo doesn't really happen until you start working with it. Rate your date. This is a wingspan by Malin Tricoterie Designs. It's free on Ravelry. Sorry, I'm going to put this in front of you.
Right.
This is how it looks. It's really long. That's one end, and then it goes up to this.
I guess I thought it was supposed to be a little wider than that, but I like that.
No, it's asymmetrical. It might have been meant to be, this hand-spun yarn, so who knows what they do.
No, I know, but I don't know. Maybe you can adjust it to make it more of a shawl.
You can make it longer if you wanted to. It's meant to be more of a scarf, and I think it's really pretty.
No,
I knitted on a US 4 3.5 millimeter. It's enough. That has not been blocked yet, but it is unblocked enough to wrap around twice.
It looks nice.
Yeah, I love it. This is Into the World July Color Club coordinate, spun together with Enchanted Knoll Farms Farm Grown Bat in the Johnny Jump Up colorway. And it's hard to see from this, but it has gold and blue sparkle, and it has sari silk in it periodically. To see if I can try to find it. This lighting isn't very good. Here's some sari silk. That little pop of pink is sari silk. There's some blue sari silk in it too. Here's some blue sari silk. That just pops up. It's really pretty. I loved spinning it. I loved knitting it even more. It's a great, you could drape it around, but it's really more of a scarf. And she said, I made it longer than it's meant to be. She suggests that for the shorter version, if you want to put a button on it so that you can button it around your neck. It's supposed to be 8 points, and I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I did 11 points because I knit basically until I didn't have any yarn, because I wanted to use, it's hand spun, so I wanted to use it all up. And I realized when I got near the end of it that I wasn't going to have enough to do like a pair of mitts or something to match it, so, because this is a gift. So that was a great knit. It knit up in like 4 or 5 days of barely knitting on it. You don't need to memorize anything. She recommends using 8 stitch markers, but I actually just used 1. You really only need a stitch marker to show where the last short row was, so that you know to make the next short row 3 stitches ahead of that. Okay. It's just, you can tell without a stitch marker, but I would just blow past it every time if I didn't have a reminder. And you just knit, once you knit one wedge, you know how to do it. The only thing that I changed is that I did my slipped stitch on the edges at the end of the row instead of doing it at the beginning of the row, which I think makes a neater slip stitch edge. I'm not sure why it does. It's something I picked up from Stephen West's patterns, but it makes a beautiful slip stitch edge, and my slip stitch edge is doing it by slipping the first stitch doesn't look as nice.
Right.
I don't know why. But someday I should sit down and try to figure out why, but I guess I don't really care. I just do it that way. So yeah, really enjoyed that. It's a free pattern, so check it out. Malin Tricoterie Designs, Wingspan, and it is great for, I think it would be great for variegated. It would probably look really cool with a striping yarn because of the way that it goes, and it's wonderful for hand spun because it does bring out all of those very stripy variegations. It really shows it off. So. And if you go into the page, people have modified it a million ways. There's like a million different ways that you
Just
can
so
do
you know,
it.
there's 4,000 projects.
Yeah, it's a really popular thing. I picked
and it's
it because
fairly new, isn't it?
I think so.
Not old. I mean, it's not
maybe a year old.
I'll tell you in a minute.
Yeah, I picked it because I knew it would show off the variegation in hand spun. It's hard to find patterns that will really show off that you're doing hand spun.
It doesn't say, but I know it's not that old.
But you can look at all the different variations people have done. People have added stuff to it. It's just really amazing. One person did one that each wedge was a different sample of lace.
Oh.
So each section had a different lace sampler. That's a really beautiful one.
Somebody did it in County.
They've used County. They've used everything you can imagine. So check it out. It's an excellent pattern. If you need to make a quick gift for somebody, you could knit that up in 2 or 3 days.
Well, maybe I'll do this one next. Even though
I know it's kind of fun. It's like a potato chip knit. I really enjoyed it. It's all knit, and you don't even do short row wraps. You just knit and turn. So it's all knitting all the time, and it's like the perfect.
All knitting all the time.
Yeah, and you don't have to pick up wraps or do any of that fussy stuff. It's so easy. The only thing that I would say is a technical thing is you do slip at the edges to make a slip stitch edge, but whatever.
Yeah, there's some pretty ones in Zauberball.
Yep, Zauberball, County, any kind of variegated like poems, yarn, or mini mochi.
Yep,
would be gorgeous.
There's a lot of mini mochi, Felici striping. Felici striping, whatever it's called.
Knit Picks Felici.
That.
Yeah, there are a lot.
Those are pretty, actually.
Yeah.
Some of the larger stripes. Ooh.
I know.
I have a pink and gray stripe.
There you go.
Some of the larger striping looks actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
Like this one right here.
Yeah.
Looks pretty neat.
Just check out the page because people have had it's such a simple base pattern.
They manipulated that a little bit.
Yeah, you can really have fun with it.
Yeah.
So that's it for Rate My Date, and since I know you don't have a Whirlwind Romance, I will tell you that I am still spinning the Bloody Hell colorway of the Merino Angora silk that I got from Mad Color Fiber Arts. I'm not going to show it to you because I showed you the bobbin last week, and the bobbin looks exactly the same. It just has more yarn on it. I got 2 ounces of it spun and about 1.5 ounces of the second braid spun, and the next time I show that on the show, I'll show it to you when I have a finished yarn. So there's that, and for those of you that are in the Into the World Fiber Club, I just wanted to mention that number 1, she has 2 clubs now, the Luxury Club and the Regular Club. The Luxury Club has like a silk blend or a fancy blend. There's not going to be Angora because I think too many people were allergic to it, but it has a surprise luxury blend every month. The Regular Club is just a regular thing, just different. It's a different base every month. I think this month is going to be Polworth, which I'm really excited about because I love Polworth. The club colors are the same. Everybody who's in the club votes on them, and she picks the 3 top votes, and then the 4th month is always Dyer's choice. She picks from whatever she really likes, what inspires her. So this month's colorway is gorgeous. It's aqua, gray, and white, and it is just amazing. So that should be here probably tomorrow. So you'll see that next week. And if you are looking for a good club to belong to, Into the World is great. You can join just to get yarn. You can join to get 1 yarn and 1 fiber bump. That's one of her double dose versions. Or you can join to get one fiber, or you can join to get a double dose of the fiber or a double dose of the yarn. So it's pretty exciting.
Good.
And I think you can probably, if there are slots, you can probably get one luxury, one regular if you wanted to do that. But for me, I like to have a double dose of the fiber so I have enough to really make something. So I would just get 2 of the same. I'm thinking of switching to the luxury one, but I don't know. I kind of just like plain fiber better. I'm spinning the Angora Merino silk blend, and it's wonderful, but it's just kind of, I just kind of like working with a straight.
Too fancy.
Yeah, it's a little too foofy for me. We'll see how the finished yarn looks. I'm trying to spin for lace, and I don't know how well it's going to go. So anyway, that's it for my whirlwind romance. Nothing to show. Future dates.
I don't know. I say I was going to knit Chandra. I was hoping to get this finished. I will at some point knit that as well as everything else I want to knit, but let's face it, right now my mind is just on basic, so I'll probably cast on for Wingspan.
I think I should do Wingspan. Wingspan totally got my knitting mojo back because it was quick, it was easy, but it was interesting, and I loved the finished result. I knit it for a gift for someone, but it's a great gift. I'm already thinking I might knit another one, either for myself or for another gift, because it's such a interesting look. I think when you wrap it around your neck, it looks really pretty, and I don't know.
So I don't know. We'll see. I have no idea.
But that was kind of my mojo getter backer.
Yeah.
I almost knit on my Madeline Tosh Creature Comforts cardigan because I was like, I feel like knitting on it. That's how much my mojo came back. But then I thought I wanted to do another short project, and I am devastated that I can't use this yarn.
Is there any way to modify the pattern?
I don't believe so.
Can you like knit to a certain point and then decrease? Do you know what I mean?
No, it's you knit it all in one go. It just gets bigger. So. I'll just make it out of Malabrigo. I have Malabrigo in my stash. I was gonna use the Malabrigo, and then I saw this, and according to my stash, I had 400 yards of it. So I was like, score!
Yeah, I see.
But I don't have 400 yards. I
only have 200. Bummer.
I am very sad. Very, very sad. So yes, I will be switching that out. I have some really pretty Malabrigo I can put it in. So I will show you that next week. I don't really have any future dates right now. I guess this is now my future date since it's not on the needles anymore. That'll be done in a Malabrigo, but I'm eventually going to get back to knitting my Creature Comforts cardigan. I almost did this week. I almost pulled out my crochet sock yarn blanket too.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I just feel like a lot of pressure's off me after last week.
Right.
I was really stressed out about it. So, but right now I don't have any specific future dates.
Crushes and heartbreaks.
Yeah.
I have a few. I got locked out this morning. I had a rough morning. We were supposed to go to the zoo. We weren't even supposed to record, and look at it, it's gorgeous out.
Yeah, you
woke up to thunder and lightning showers, and it says scattered showers throughout the day. I was going to go to the zoo with my mother-in-law. My husband called her because I was still up to it because I looked at the weather and it said it was going to stop, but she didn't want to walk around in wet. I'm like, whatever. So woke up to that, had a disagreement with my husband. Then was putting out the trash and the recycling, and I went out to do that, and my kids shut the door. And I didn't have any of my stuff with me. I'm like, did you see any of that stuff in my hands when you did that? Now, I'm not mad at them because that's what I asked them to do all the time. I just didn't have my stuff. I had no keys. I had no phone. And we typically keep a spare key somewhere, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
And so I basically showed my neighbors how to break into my house.
Well, hopefully nobody was watching.
Well, then it's funny because I had Max climb through the window because I'm like, no way in heck am I doing that. I'd rip my body apart. So I had him climb through the window when I got into the house. You know how the windows have those little latches so that you can only go up so high? I put those latches up. And I'm like, yeah, watch me. I'm going to get locked out and not be able to get into this house now because I put those latches up. But I now know where the spare key is. We actually now have 2 spare keys.
Good.
But normally I keep one in my car, but I didn't have the keys to my car. I didn't have a phone to call AAA to even get into my car.
Oh my God!
It was just one
of those things.
One of those
the
mornings.
Domino effect.
And then my tooth, for everyone to know, I did have a root canal last Thursday.
I'm glad you got
due to an abscess, and I could see it. I'm still on antibiotics, and that's creating other issues.
Antibiotics mess with your whole body.
They do. So the pain is gone. It feels funny, but that's probably because it was a root canal. It doesn't hurt. In the next week or two, I need to have a crown, and I had a root canal on this side. Gosh, Zachary's going to be 9, so about 9.5 years ago, I never got the crown on, and my dentist keeps saying, you need to do it, No, not even, it's just a filling. Not even a temporary.
Oh my God.
Just a filling. And my dentist is like, you got to do that, you got to do that, you got to do that. Well, I haven't been chewing anything hard on that side. But where it's this side, I can't have both sides. I'll be chewing like this.
And I would like everyone to know for the record that my mother also has she has a temporary.
I don't even have a temporary.
She has a temporary over her root canal for like the last 4 years. And she uses the fact that Sheila's gone for 9 years without getting hers taken care of as an excuse not to get her crown put on.
Yeah, my excuse is money, pure and simple.
My mom doesn't want to pay the money either. I mean,
I'd be more than willing to pay it. I just don't have it to pay.
Well, my mom just doesn't have. She does, but she doesn't want to spend the money on that. So she's like, Sheila's been going 9 years.
Don't use me as an excuse, please, because I still have issues with it. It hurts every now and again.
I'm sure
I get food stuck into it, which could cause cavities on the surrounding tooth.
Because I had a crown recently. Right before I went to Germany. And I didn't need a root canal. I cracked my tooth, and if it went any deeper, it was going to need a root canal. So that's
what started. I had broken a part of my tooth off, and the trauma must have just went down. Now, a few weeks ago when I went to the dentist, he couldn't see anything, but it must not have been an abscess yet. But the dentist I went to an endodontist. And he had a digital X-ray. He took it and he looked right up, and I'm like, cool. Yeah. He enlarged it, showed me exactly what was happening, which made sense to what I was feeling. I'm like, sweet. And he goes, yeah, you can come in next Thursday, which would be this Thursday coming up. I'm like, nothing earlier? They're like, well, if we get cancellations, we'll call you. No sooner do I get down in the building, they're saying, we have one today at 2, and I'm like, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
And I got so many compliments about my kids' behavior that they were so good. I said, yeah, because I threatened them with their lives. I didn't, but I told them, I said, you are to behave. And I gave them things to do, but they were really good, and I ended up taking them out for ice cream afterwards. But you know how you numb, and it's like...
You can't tell food's like all over your face.
Not even that, but it's like I was hungry and I wanted something because it's painful. I mean, he's digging at your tooth. So we went for ice cream. I got a strawberry ice cream soda, and certain strawberry ice creams don't have the chunks of strawberry in them.
But that one did?
Well, yeah, it's good ice cream. It was a good place. And I'm like, yeah, I probably should have gotten the root beer float.
I'm glad you got it fixed.
I'm glad I got it fixed.
Tooth pain is demoralizing.
And after my insurance covered it, I only had to pay $74, which now that's not including the crown. The crown is going to be separate, which I know is a good couple of $100. But
see, my whole procedure, I had to pay $2,000.
Yeah, I didn't. Because I went to a dentist that carries our insurance.
My insurance does not cover. It only covers 50% for that procedure.
Ours covers 90%. I didn't realize it was that high. I think it only covers 50%.
That's good dental.
Yeah, well, it's MetLife.
That's what I have.
Yeah, maybe you're not going to.
But you know what? My guy wasn't in the network.
Yeah, see, and that's why.
Because there's nobody in that network. It's really hard to find somebody good in that
somebody
network.
in Medford.
Well, I'm going to have to go to that dentist. I just got a new dentist. I could get another new dentist.
Well, I'm going to Cam's dentist, which is here in Malden. A doctor, not here in Malden, but Malden, which is a couple towns over. Dr. Wu.
Oh.
And she's
I really like my new dentist, though.
Are you done?
No.
I need a drink of water.
Can you help yourself to a drink of water?
Do you know where to get one? All right, I'll be right back.
All right.
One more thing. I somehow, in the midst of everything this morning, did something to my hip. It's killing me. I must have pulled a muscle. It has to be pulled a muscle.
Which side is it?
My left.
Me too. Isn't that weird?
But, all right, let me just explain something, too. I have a king-size bed. I'm going to use this. I have a king-size bed. I sleep on this side of the bed, which is this side.
Yeah.
My husband sleeps on this side. Well, do you know where he typically sleeps? Right here.
Yeah.
So that we have all this. So this morning he was sleeping here at a diagonal. I had just this little corner. I woke up with my feet hanging off. I'm sure that has something to do with my hip.
Mine has something to do with the way I've been sleeping. I can sleep on my right side, but when I sleep on my left side, something is wonky with my hip. It's either that or it might be my leg. Which brings me to my crushes and heartbreaks. Knee status. So y'all know a couple weeks ago I told you that when I started using the machines at my gym, I accidentally set one of them on kilograms instead of pounds. So I was, instead of doing like 35 pounds, I was doing something like 89 pounds, which was really bad. And I gave myself tendinitis from working out that way for a week. Then I had a car accident, so I wasn't able to go see my physical therapist that day. And then last week I went to the physical therapist on Friday only to find out that the appointment was actually for Thursday. I was there on the wrong day. So I didn't see my physical therapist that last week. Then, despite the fact that I explained to my husband that walking around the Children's Museum in Boston would be really hard on my leg because the floor is so hard, it's a lot of standing, he made me feel very bad for not going because some family from out of town were going to meet us there. So I went, and by the end of the day, I was limping so bad that I could barely walk. And I was feeling severe pain on the left side of my surgical knee, which turns out is really inflamed tendinitis. And it started over the weekend. I wore high-heeled shoes. I didn't go to the gym. I mean, high-heeled shoes to me are like an inch and a half, but I don't wear heels, so... I mean, there was a lot of walking around and standing, so I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. But when I was talking to my physical therapist and telling her, I've cleared up, I'm not using kilograms anymore, I'm using pounds, we realized that for the last 2 weeks I've been using the completely wrong weight machine. I'm supposed to use the machine where you sit. See, I find the machines based on how they look at my physical therapist. And to me, this one looks like a dentist chair. Mm-hmm. It's like a chair that leans back and you sit in it and you put your legs in this thing. And you're supposed to push your legs, you put your heels over this thing and you push it down like that. Well, they had the exact same machine in the women's weight room at my gym, except that I guess I didn't pay attention because you push your legs up, you extend your legs.
Oh, right.
And that's like the one thing you're not supposed to do with an ACL. So for 2 weeks, and I couldn't do it really well. Like I'm supposed to do between 30 and 50 pounds. I could barely do 20 pounds, and I was only doing one thing. So that didn't help. I messed up my hamstring. That's how my hamstring... Remember I told you I thought I had pulled my hamstring? Yeah. That's how I pulled my hamstring. And so now the rest of my leg is just bad. So I had the most painful deep tissue session that I've had since I started yesterday. I was crying the whole time. In fact, it was so bad that she's like, I don't think you should do anything else today except just go home. My leg was so bad. And she told me, tell your husband no more walking around on hard floors. If you have to walk around on a hard floor and there's no way to avoid it, she showed me some stretches to do. And then we went around to each of the machines that I'm supposed to use, and she showed me there's like a little sign on each machine that has a name. And she told me, don't look at the machine, look at the name. The name should be this, or this, or this, and don't do anything else. And she's like, and certainly stop doing leg extensions because that's really bad for you. And then she told me she's leaving the practice.
Oh.
But that's okay. I mean, I really like her. I'm sure I was joking with the staff. I'm sure that the other lady that I got assigned to will have really sharp, pointy fingers that press into my muscles and make me cry just as much as she did. But she's getting married, and then she's making she's focusing her career more on teaching Pilates than doing.
Oh, all right.
So I wish good luck to her. So there was that. So that's kind of a heartbreak. But I have really bad tendinitis in my knee now, which might be the reason why my left hip is bothering me. I'm probably walking funny.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But so there's that. And then the other thing is that, as you know, my brother-in-law got married this weekend. It was a lovely wedding. If you follow me on Twitter, I tweeted a picture of the handmade cross that my brother-in-law made to make the venue look more like a church. They were married in a museum.
You also put that on Ravelry too.
Oh, I did put it on Ravelry. Yeah, I think I did both.
It was on Virtual Knit Night.
That's right, because I explained why I wasn't going to be there. And it was a beautiful wedding. They're in Paris now. I hope they're having a great time. I keep wanting to text them to say, "Hey, how you doing?" But I don't, because that would be so rude. But the kind of like sense of humor that I have makes me want to like, how's it going?
But they probably appreciate it too.
I don't
Never
know.
mind the fact that if you texted them, it would probably be at 3 a.m. because of the time difference.
I have to restrain myself from texting them. I'm sure they don't want to be disturbed during their romantic honeymoon, but I so want to. I was wishing they were on Twitter so I can keep tweeting them, but I'm not going to do that because I am really a nice person underneath.
No,
underneath how bad I am.
No, she's not.
But I hope they're having a great time. So I know they're not watching me, but in case they were, have a great time, guys. And the family, extended family, came in town, went out of town. There wasn't as much drama as I thought there would be, but there was drama. There's always drama when family gets together like that. But I feel like emotionally and physically drained from being on for 6 days. So I'm glad that that part of it is over and now we can resume our regularly scheduled lives. So that's all for that.
All right, we next go to Baubles and Blings.
Yeah, we got
we got a package, and this package is all for you guys.
Yes. Yay!
So we want to say thank you to Daisy Knits. She's Daisy on Ravelry, Jennifer Watkins. She owns an Etsy store, daisyknits.etsy.com, and she dyes yarn, and it's beautiful yarn, and this stuff is to be given to you guys as part of our Prize-a-Palooza, which we are 31 people away
31
from
people
doing.
away. This is her business card.
That's her business card, and the yarn that Wendy has up now is Robin's Egg.
Yes, and it's Polworth silk, 85% Polworth, 15% silk. I love Polworth.
It's 300 and something yards. It's a gorgeous color.
It's gorgeous. Look how pretty that is.
It does look like robin's eggs.
It does. Speckled robin's eggs.
She's sent us a skein of lace. It's a short skein, she calls it. How many yards on the short skein?
648 yards of lace, which is enough to do a significant size lace shawl.
Yeah, that's not that short.
No, it's not that short. This is
her normal yardage, just so you know, is 984.
Yes, almost colorway.
Beautiful.
I love this. I want to steal it for myself. I'm gonna have to go on her store now and buy some.
I was just gonna say we're putting this out there so that we don't steal
keep it for ourselves. Although she did send it for a prize, so we would never take that. This is in her seedling base, which is 80% merino, 20% silk, and is exactly the colors that I love. Good job.
The last skein
is called Grassy in her bud base, which is 100% superwash merino.
That's 234 yards.
So that's a nice amount. I think it's probably a worsted weight, so you could definitely make a hat out of it. There's plenty of yardage.
This is probably a sport weight. Would you call it
fingering?
Maybe a heavy fingering?
It's her nectar base.
This is heavy fingering, nectar base.
I love it. Look at how pretty these colors are. Very nice.
Very nice.
I would use all these for myself.
She also sent us 3 keychains. One for each of us, and then one for a prize. Quick fun.
Which are super cute. She just skeined a little bit of yarn on. She says it makes it easy for her to find her keys in the bottom of her purse, and I imagine it would because this doesn't feel like anything that you would normally have in your purse.
Right.
So those are very cute. That was really sweet.
She's also giving us a coupon code, and we got it today, so we're just announcing it out today. So I hope that's okay, Jennifer. She's giving us a coupon code to her shop, daisyknits.etsy.com, and Daisy is DAIZIE, knits.etsy.com. The coupon code is K1H2, which is TOO10, for 10% off all orders. That's K1HTOO10 for 10% off all orders up until September 3rd.
And
so that's about 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's good. This is good. If you need to buy anything for Christmas gifts, this would be a good way to save money. I'm going to put the code up on the screen while we're announcing this.
Oh,
so
all
that
right.
you have time to write it down. And we'll post it in the thread for the video.
Yeah.
So that if you don't have a pen when you watch the show, you can always log on to the group And if you haven't joined, you can join so we can get closer to Prizapalooza, and you can find out what the code is.
Yeah.
But that was really sweet.
Jennifer,
thank you
we
so
really
much,
appreciate
Jennifer.
it.
And this is just beautiful. And I'm going to have to go online and check and see if you have more of this because I absolutely
Etsy shop
adore
now
it.
as we speak.
Ooh, she has lots.
She's got a lot of stuff.
What kind of lace weight does she
Well,
have?
right now she's showing off skeined stuff that's all been balled up. But here's some pretty colorways. Colors. Oh, sorry, there we go. Mint chocolate chip, it looks like.
I know, that's pretty.
She's got some fiber up there, up on the screen over there.
Pretty.
So, she's got,
check her out, people.
Her lace, she's got 21 things on lace. I'll show it to you.
I'll put this over
So again, thank you very much, Daisy.
Thank you.
And I will send you a note also saying that we got it. We just got it today.
Yeah, we only
So.
check our P.O. box like
Once
the
a
day
week
that
or
we
so.
record, unless I forget, and then
2 weeks.
every once in a while. If you ever send us anything and we don't mention it, PM us so that we check the box in case
We've been good
forgot.
about it. I've
We've
been
been
coming
pretty
here,
good.
so
I
so what
missed
I've been-
when Chris from Into the World sent us stuff.
right. So I've been coming to Wendy's. I've just been overshooting her house to go to.
And normally, the way that I go to Sheila's, that's on my way.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, because I go down there and I take Forest Street.
Oh, okay.
So it's like I just stop in there. Of course, Jim has lost my keys, so I don't have a key to the post office box right now. I'm hoping that he's going to find them.
Yeah, the guy's like, "What post office box number?" And I'm like, "I'm not sure. 3321. I don't remember what it is. I just know where it is."
Yeah.
And he goes, "What's the name?" I said, "Net 1 Heart 2." He goes, "Oh yeah, all right." Like, I had to think about it. I'm like,
That's the new guy that took over for Agnes,
Right.
and we don't like
yeah,
him.
they were talking. He was talking to the person ahead of him. He goes, "I should have taken over the spot 17 years ago or something like that." I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, because he thinks it's
convenient for
easier
him.
or whatever. I don't know.
So, do you have any other baubles and blues?
I do have one more baubles and
Oh,
so
I
do you.
forgot. We both got this.
I'm
yes.
announcing this for both of us. This is the Awareness in Ribbons and Lace shawl by Kimberly Gintar, and you might recognize that name is familiar because she is the one that designed the Judy B that I finished last week. That shawl that I knit out of hand spun with the cabled and lace edging. Well, this is, I'm going to try to find a bigger picture of what it looks like because it's really pretty. Can you get a, oh, here's a good one. This is a cable and lace shawl. It has a ribbon type cable like the cross ribbon that they use for breast cancer awareness or other disease awareness. But it also has one that's like a ribbon going, a folded ribbon going back and forth. It's hard to see on this. It's really pretty. And just to tell you a little bit about it, the garter stitch section at the top of the shawl is a snugly hug around your shoulders. The cancer ribbons
It's a good size.
are joined at the bottom to symbolize banding together to fight the disease. The ribbon road, which is a back and forth folded ribbon, it looks like a folded ribbon.
It also looks almost similar to like the DNA.
Yeah, that symbolizes the path we take to find the cure with its ups and downs, and the lace diamonds represent how valuable life is and how we need to cherish every moment that we have. She is offering this pattern for sale on Ravelry. It's listed as $10, but you need to read the information before you purchase it. It doesn't actually cost $10. In order for her to get the coupon code to work properly, she had to list it as $10. What she has asked that you do is to donate.
7. She emailed me the other day at 7.
Well, it's $7 total, but you pay $5 and then you donate $5 and you pay $2.
Is that what it is? Did
Yes.
you get a?
I got this right off of her page.
Okay, because she PM'd me saying that.
Yeah, well, she had originally put it up for $7, but it won't let her do the coupon code unless it's $10 or more.
I got it. Well, the reason I'm saying I got an email address.
Yeah, I did too.
I mean, a recent one just the other day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so I went to see what she
Okay.
said on her site. So what happens is, what you do is she gives you a link and you donate $5 or more to the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. And the instructions on the page will tell you that when you get your receipt from Dana-Farber for your donation, there is a code on it that she refers to that you then type in when you buy the pattern on Ravelry so that you only have to pay $2 for it. So the total pattern cost is $7. The 10 is up there because that's how much it had to cost in order for her to be able to do a coupon. She says that if you do just go ahead and pay the $10, she will donate the portion of the proceeds, other than, I'm assuming, the $2 that it costs, to Dana-Farber at the end of the month. But she prefers, for everyone's peace of mind, that the money go directly to the charity instead of through her. That way you know that the money that you donated is going to the donated cause. I think that's a good way to handle it, by using the coupon code. And, you know, she's done this shawl in pink, but you could do this for any color. I know that green is for is it liver or just green?
Dana-Farber?
No, I'm saying.
Oh, green. Green is any organ donation.
Any organ donation.
Do it in pink for cancer. You can
Red
do it in purple.
is for the heart. Purple is.
Well, I know turquoise is for ovarian. There's websites that you can find out for what color.
So even though this is, I mean, she's donating to Dana-Farber for cancer. That could be any kind of cancer, but you could also use this pattern to symbolize anything, any fight that somebody that you love is going through, that's symbolized by the ribbons. So you could use it for that. And it's really pretty.
It's very pretty.
And it's nice. It takes 1,100 yards of sport weight. But at the end of the pattern, she has helpfully included a little brief summary of the people that test knit it for her, and some of them have done it in different weights. One lady did it with 572 yards of fingering weight yarn. And another one did 534 yards of a worsted weight yarn. And there's detailed information about how they achieved that and what they would do differently. So it's really well written and helpful. It's written instructions as well as charts. And I can tell you, after knitting her other pattern, that she writes a very clear pattern. So if you're looking for a really wonderful gift to give somebody who's suffering through cancer or is a survivor, this would be a wonderful Christmas gift. And $5 will go towards, at least $5, depending on what you donate. You don't have to just donate $5. You could donate $20.
I think you have to donate a
minimum of
$7.
A minimum of $7?
Yeah, because it says they won't let you donate $5, so I've had to change the price of my shawl to $7. It has to be a minimum of $7.
Right.
But the $2.
The $2, it's $5 of donation and $2 for the pattern.
Right.
So.
But Dana-Farber, you have to do a minimum of $7.
Right. So it explains on her pattern page exactly what you need to do for Dana-Farber. So if it's confusing from hearing us talk about it, just go to the Awareness in Ribbons and Lace pattern page, and in the little blurb underneath the pattern, it tells you exactly. There's a link and everything. So yeah, that was really nice. Thank you, Kimberly. It's a lovely shawl.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful, and it looks like it would be fun to knit. So. Gossip and Innuendo.
Going into the Gossip and Innuendo, we've decided to use charity knitting as our next knit along.
Knit along theme, and it was suggested by Kimberly, actually.
You can knit anything that, like that shawl would be considered
a charity knit.
Charity,
because you donated in order to get the pattern.
My Hope, which is it My Hope?
My Hope. My Wish. My Hope.
My Hope. My Wish last
year.
The
latest.
That would go into the Make-A-Wish shawl. You can knit baby hats that are going to either the Sweet Caroline Project or the...
What's his name?
Remy.
Remembering Remy.
Yeah.
Also, we told you there's the Wrapped in Stitches Preemie Blanket Drive on the 3 Stitches podcast, which is also their RAV group 3 Stitches. It starts on August 12th and goes through October 14th. So if you did anything for that knit along or that charity, you would be able to do it there. You could also do blankets for animal shelters. That's a charity.
Or beds.
As a beds.
Well, there's a bunch of different things.
Yes, that was popular a few months ago. But basically, and we're going to take your word for it, show your finished object and tell us what charity benefited from it or will benefit from it. And that'll encourage people to get into the giving mood for the holiday season.
Yeah. And that will run from, let's see, September and October.
Yeah, so 2 months.
2 months. And my other gossip and innuendo is the knittingtriathlete.blogspot.com. Lynn Zim is running the Denver Oyster Race again, which is a bunch of different challenges. She's raised so far, I believe, $12,000.
Wow.
I'm not 100% sure on that. But it's definitely over $10,000. Now, I mentioned to you guys that I would donate something for her charity for people who put money into it, and I talked to her. And what I'm doing, and I am donating a pair of socks. I believe Leslie is not doing that this year because she is moving. She's from the Knit Girls, so I offered to take over that. And I talked to Lynn Zim, and she's all set for that. So I am donating a pair of socks knit out of Socks at Rock, 100% superwash merino, medium weight, in the budding twig colorway. This was the shipment that I got 2 of in March. I had to think about what club. And so I am using this skein with the pattern of the winner's choice within reason. Please, just because.
Like,
Just cause.
She doesn't really want to knit like a bearish sock or Spina Depeche or something.
Besides, not only that is you got to think about the colorway here.
Yes, this really would look better on a simpler pattern.
Right. So I am donating my time, my yarn, for a pair of socks for someone.
Yep.
And this yardage is over 400. So
that gives you a lot of leeway in what you want knit.
405 yards. It's a really nice. Everyone knows how much I love this yarn. So
she does. So that was really
and
nice.
I'm not sure how she's going to do it. I believe this is one that if you donate $30 or above, you get entered into winning this. She will have pictures on her blog site of all the prizes coming up. She races, I believe, August 28th. Is when the Denver Oyster Run. So again, that's knittingtriathlete.blogspot.com to enter $5 for the pattern of My Hope, $10 for any other gifts that you want to get in for, $30 for Fiber Nymphs Nan Cat, and other various prizes. So she'll let you know. But I just wanted to show you what it looks like.
And I'm just going to remind everyone again, Sock the Vote is going on in the Single-Handed Knits podcast group. I linked to it in last week's episode thread on the group. Episode 73. So if you're interested in doing that, you can go.
The voting has already been done. It's been closed because I checked it out.
But I know some people were mentioning that they were interested in participating in Sock the Vote.
I just want to know who.
I didn't put in about the voting, just about joining. Somebody had recommended a zombie Yarn Zombie had recommended us to be a mascot of the thing.
Yeah, so.
But I know that some people that watch were interested in maybe doing a knit along with Sock the Vote. You don't have to purchase one of the kits to be in. You can be in a party that doesn't have a purchase kit. So it sounds like kind of a fun event, and I hope people will check it out.
I'm just checking to see on her podcast.
There was a thread, I know, because Dramatic Knits, people were voting for him in a thread.
Yeah, I saw that
and
too.
I saw there was a poll that you could join, which I went to, but then I didn't vote for anybody.
I voted. I just I don't know who won. I have an idea who won, but
well, I'm guessing I know who won too.
Yeah. So, anyways,
but it sounds like a really fun event. It's really different. It is a fun way to relate knitting to the upcoming election year if you live in the United States. So I think you should check it out. And her podcast is interesting too. So you can watch that.
singlehandedknits.com is her website.
Yeah.
So
check it out.
I think we're done.
I think we are done. If you want more information about the show, you can check us out on the blog at
knitoneheart2.blogspot.com.
And find our contact information, which is above Sheila's head. Looks like I was picking your nose.
I know, it always looks like you're picking my nose.
And if you want to buy a t-shirt or donate to the podcast or join the Ravelry group.
It's over here on Wendy's side.
On my side. Follow me on Twitter. I am at knit1 Wendy.
And I'm at knit1heart2.
You're at she.
No, actually, it's knit1heart2. Should be.
Well, your username is Knit1Heart too, but your @ name is SHE.
Oh, really?
Yes. I know because I followed you on Twitter. You don't even know your own Twitter name.
Yeah, but I think if you do Knit One Heart too, you can still get to it that way.
Yes,
too,
you can.
People,
if you do Knit One
Heart too.
If you just do Knit one word, KNIT, the number 1, it will show me and you and a bunch of other people.
Oh, okay.
And you can just pick the ones. But I have been tweeting. I'm kind of enjoying it.
I'll tweet every now and again,
See?
but nothing. It's not.
You are @she.
Oh, you can also access.
No, you're not.
I'm not. I'm at Knit One Heart too.
Well, that's so weird because it said that you were. So I'm wrong.
I'm at Knit One Heart too. TOO.
I'm just wrong. Are you following me?
I am following you.
Then you should be on here. I don't have that many followers. But you can find useful information. I, in fact, found out that there was a barn sale at Blue Moon Fiber Arts when I was at the museum in a bad mood suffering, and I made a purchase while I was at the museum from my phone.
Unfortunately, I didn't catch that until I was working at that night.
Oh, yeah, your username is she.
My @ is Knit One Heart too.
Yes, you're right.
I was going to say, I know. I think the last thing I tweeted was, we were texting back and forth. In Massachusetts, it's illegal to text while driving, which makes perfect sense. But I was coming home from a lab work, and we got a text, so I had my son read it, and he texts back. I said, who said you can't text while driving? Just have your eager 11-year-old do it for you.
Third party do your texting.
And he was very eager to do it. So.
Yes, because texting is cool, man.
Right, and he's not allowed to do it on his phone, but I would never do it while driving. I barely even talk on the phone while driving.
I with my hands free, I talk if I need to make a call, but I prefer not to make a long call.
You can do texting hands-free too.
I know. But I'm not.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
So, I only text to a few people.
We're already going over.
Well, we had a little bit on the front end, so.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Have a good week. Knit with Heart. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
One more week. Okay. One more.
Soon.